I feel like this outfit is meant for being on a yacht or like a boat or just vacation.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just wearing like linen pants with like wearing an all white type of outfit. I kind of blend into the couch right now.
Yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been recently having dreams about just being on vacation.
But not on the boat.
No, I don't particularly love boats.
Why?
Like, give me a beach.
Why?
Because the boat.
So you just basically at all, like forever, you just want to stay on land?
No, I mean, I have nothing against boats. Like, I'll go on a boat, but it's not my ideal situation.
I would love to go on a cruise one day.
Nah. I don't want no cruise.
You watch Titanic too many times.
I don't want no submarine.
So, yo, speaking of the submarine, guys.
Oh, actually, I don't.
Oh,
want to
did you
talk
see
about
when they
anything
found?
sad.
Did you see when they found the actual?
Yeah.
Piece.
I don't want to talk about no sad shit right now.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
But yeah, welcome back to the pod, everybody. No long intro.
No long intro. We were having some technical difficulties right before we started recording.
And
You should have seen what was happening here.
You know, sometimes when shit is just frustrating, I really have to like just punch something to get over it.
It's funny that you have to do that because I don't.
It really makes me feel better. Like, I get why people go to those, you know, those big rooms where people like break just objects and shit with like a baseball bat.
Yo, you would love a place like that.
I would love that.
You would really break some shit.
I break shit that you're not even supposed to break.
But why does it make people feel better?
I'm sure that there's some scientific explanation.
You know, like in movies when there's something that goes wrong and then they're having an argument and the person leaves like the office. Mm-hmm. And then the person that's like frustrated in the office, they just knock everything over.
Yeah.
It's like a human.
It's a normal human reaction, I think. Or when someone's frustrating and they start like.
But then you instantly.
Dramatic, but they take like a plate or a glass and just like throw it.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
But then the funny thing is, you instantly regret doing that.
Why?
Like the moment you do, you're like, "Fuck, now I gotta clean it."
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess in movies, they don't have to clean it.
Yeah. I guess so.
Anyways, guys, welcome back to the What's the Juice pod. I am one of your hosts, Alia Zaita.
And my name is Yoni Ekoto.
And welcome to our show.
Alia's been learning French.
You're about to say Spanish.
Yeah, Alia's been learning French the last couple episodes.
Last couple episodes. You mean the last couple days?
Last couple days, yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us like what you learned, you know? No, hold on a second.
No.
Alia, comment ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi?
Ça va bien. Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Je suis en train de recording.
Je suis en train de le recording.
We have kind of like a few French listeners, I'm pretty sure.
We have some French listeners.
We have a lot of listeners from all over the place.
Yeah, so if you're listening, bonjour, bonsoir. A few words from Alia.
Bună ziua, ce faceți?
What?
If there's any Romanian listeners.
Oh, no, I was like, say something in French.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were just trying to say shit in different languages.
No. Bonjour, tout le monde.
Shalom.
Oh my God, what language is that?
Hebrew?
Yeah.
Why did you ask me that you speak Hebrew?
No, I was just,
how do you say hello in Dutch?
Daich.
Okay, guys, done with the languages. Anyways, welcome back, everyone. I hope that you guys have been doing well since we've last spoken. Summer is in full bloom. I think this might be like the earliest we've ever recorded an episode. We're always like in the afternoon when it's hot as hell in this apartment, or if it's later, like in the night, midnight vibes, 10 p.m.
Yeah, so right now the sun is on this side.
Yeah.
And the windows are like right there.
I think the sun is like right on top right now. Because it's noon.
Okay,
So
my
it's
point
like,
is the sun is not there.
the sun is not there yet. Yeah, so it's not hot yet. But Seattle is only going to get hotter and hotter and hotter,
Yeah, that's
which
very
I'm not
true.
mad about. I'm excited to get a little tan. I have these red nails because, it's like summer vibes. And we're coming at you with a good episode today. I'm very excited to talk about because I think it's something... The reason why we wanted to talk about privacy in a relationship is because of something that kind of recently happened that made us talk about this in our day-to-day little life. And then we were like, damn, this could be a really good topic to share with you guys.
Yes. I think privacy is very important for any human being.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that. I don't care if you're married for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Privacy is something that we all deserve, and no one should ever tell you, wait, but we've been together for so long. Like, what are you hiding from me? It's not fair. Yeah. It's not.
And I think it's important for us to have this conversation because so many of our previous topics, if you've been a listener for a while, you know, we always say like communication is key. And that's like, I mean, everybody says that, but I think we've really like drilled that into our like main like values as a couple and as like a podcast. We always just share with you guys how important it is to just share and communicate with your person, with your partner, and with people in your life in general.
Yes, even if it is to say, I don't want to share this thing with you.
Exactly, and that's the key right there.
But you still have to communicate that.
Right, yeah. You can't let it be muggy. You can't just let it be... Because then it becomes unclear of like, are you keeping a secret from me or are you just wanting privacy?
It's not, yeah.
Which are two different things. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
They're two very different things, but some people think it's the same thing. And some people think like they associate privacy with something that's being hidden from you.
Right.
And
exactly.
And sometimes I honestly feel like you thought that I was doing that.
Yeah.
Which... then I had to tell you that it wasn't the case.
Yeah. And I think where that came from is because, also if you hear some like background noises, because we have the windows open because it is a little warm in here and we want to have the air circulate. So apologize for that. But I think a big reason why most people think that privacy is really important in relationships, a big reason why I think people think privacy in a relationship is like kind of hard to understand is because the biggest and most important thing in a relationship is trust.
Trust.
And the way that you have trust, logically, we think about trust and we think with trust, you don't have secrets. You talk about everything in order to trust each other. The line of communication is always open, etc. So in a way, when you think about it, a lot of people think privacy and trust don't really go together if you don't really think about it deeper. And that's why we want to talk about it. Because I would say trust is the number one most important thing in a relationship.
I would say that, it is the number one. Like, there's
if you don't have trust,
else.
you don't have shit.
Yeah, if you don't have trust, people say love is number one, and you got to make sure that the love is there. But it's like, that's not true. Because
I would say sometimes like love can fluctuate.
Should I close the window?
You want to?
I'll be right back.
Sorry, there's like a truck, garbage truck, something that's hella loud in there.
You can continue talking now.
Okay. Well, you're gonna make some noise and the light is gonna get like messed up. There you go.
Let's make sure we're recording.
Yeah, every time.
So I want to tell them what happened last week, or like earlier this week. Okay.
Oh, like so why we even thought about what ignited this idea in
this
our heads.
Podcast episode. So we're still not recording. We're still cleaning the apartment, getting rid of a lot of stuff that we have, furniture and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So Alia was going through all the documents in the bedroom. I think it was just like the stuff that we had in the drawer.
We were getting rid of a desk that we have in our apartment.
And we had a bunch of little notes there, little books and, stuff like that. So I had my little note from like 2017, I think, right?
Yeah, it's like a notebook, but it's not like it's a notebook that's on a spiral thing. It doesn't, you like flip it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind.
No, I think it matters for context.
Okay. So how?
So it looks, I was going through everything that we had in that thing. So we had in the drawers. So we had a bunch of different notebooks like that. We had some that were like journal vibes that open and you usually use to journal or like whatever you want to use it for. Then there was that notebook that was like, there was scribbles on the front.
It was just very random. It didn't look like something that was private.
And you've had that notebook since before we even met.
True.
And I have written in that notebook before.
I know you have.
Random shit.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just wanted to like look through it to see if like maybe there was something that you would have wanted to keep, or I don't know. And I was just going through everything and looking at everything because we don't have secrets, and I have no reason to think like, oh, this is Yoni's like private thing, right?
Right. And I wrote some, and honestly, like I don't even remember exactly like what I wrote in there. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what I wrote? I mean, like, we don't have to say it, obviously.
Yeah, no, I was going through it. There was some pages that were like just to-do lists. You know, there was just to-do lists of like what you were doing, photography stuff, work stuff, like all that. Then I saw some things that I wrote there. Like I remember I was writing like meal ideas when I was trying to get you to like eat healthier at the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah, she made like a nice little like a meal plan for like a week, which I didn't follow.
Yeah, I know you didn't. But I remember exactly when I wrote that, you know? So it was cute, and I was just like going through it out of curiosity. And then I think I saw something that you wrote, and it was kind of like random little thoughts and things.
Yeah.
And
I remember where I was in my life when I was writing this random thoughts. Like I would just write a sentence down, kind of just like how I was feeling in the moment. And that is something that is just very personal. Mm-hmm. And it's not anything that, Alia shouldn't read. It's just like my deepest little things that I just be thinking about.
In that moment. Yeah, like that's where you were in that moment.
So Alia goes, and then she comes to the living room, and then she's like, Yoni, when did you write this? Or like, who is this? Or something like that, right? Yeah,
no, I just wrote like, babe, like, why did you write that? Or something, you know?
And then I said, then I was like, oh shit, like I remember that I wrote these things down. And I didn't care that you like read them, but it was very vulnerable. Like it was just for me. It wasn't meant for anyone else to see.
And in the moment where it felt like I was invading your privacy,
I felt so violated. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't a problem, but I was just like, damn, like I feel like somebody just like saw me naked somewhere that they weren't supposed to.
Oh yeah, like where you were caught off guard. Basically.
Yeah, and I even forgot about those notes. I didn't think anybody would ever read them, even though you've written on that notebook before.
Yeah.
But then I was like, then I grabbed the notebook and I just flipped through all the pages to see what else.
What else has she read?
Yeah. And knowing you, I know you probably like looked through the whole thing. Because if you saw that, you're like, I wonder what else is here. Now you're like, now you're curious.
As soon as I got to that page, I came and asked you, like, what's up with that, you know?
Yeah. And it wasn't anything bad.
No. But when I would say that I want to admit that when I did read that, I realized that I was reading something that I probably shouldn't be reading.
Okay, so the moment you realize that and you know that it wasn't yours, why did you keep reading?
Because I feel like it would be... Well, because first of all, there wasn't that much on that page.
It wasn't that much. It was like 5 thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. It was like kind of random shit. So then I just read it. And as I was reading it, I was realizing that I felt like I was reading something
that's not for
that
you.
It wasn't for me to read. Not necessarily that it's a secret, because nothing written there was like some revelation or something.
Oh, yeah.
But you just know when you're like reading something or doing something where you're crossing a boundary and you're crossing someone's private space.
Yeah.
So but I still wanted to come to you because I feel like what was written there, I wanted to like talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just curious, especially because I knew that you wrote that like years ago. That was 5 years ago that you wrote that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyways, so that's why I came and asked you, because I also felt like if I put that away and I didn't let you know that I read it, that would also feel like, not that I'm lying, but you don't know that I saw it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And and I told you I didn't even remember what like that I wrote that.
Yeah.
Until I saw it, then I was like, I remember exactly where I was, or which still I don't know exactly what made me write these things. But yeah, I'm just like a very like I like to be in tune with like how I'm feeling. Emotions, yeah, and just writing it down was very good for me, and it was nothing positive, nothing crazy, nothing that Ali should not be reading,
Yeah, it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah. even okay, one of those things were like just showing like the love that I had for Alia. You remember that line?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I said something that was good about Alia, but it was just like so just for me. I just wanted to write it down for some reason.
Yeah.
You know? So then when Alia saw it, I was like, oh shit. I mean, I guess it is a good thing because, you know, it's
Yeah, it was, yeah.
like it was a sweet thing.
Yeah.
But it's like it was never meant. I never wanted you to read
Yeah,
that.
but it's also not that, like, I already know like what
That-
you wrote. I already know that.
yeah.
So it's not like a secret.
Okay, there was a thing one time. I think I remember I was in school and someone texted me a long ass paragraph. This is like an example that's kind of similar to this. Okay, about privacy. And she wrote. It was a girl, right? And she wrote a paragraph that was, you know how like you on the text messages on your iPhone and then you can like scroll
And it's like still the paragraph.
Yeah, it's still a paragraph. So it was like 2 scrolls, right? Long ones. And so I get that out of nowhere. I didn't even, it's a lot to read.
Was this a classmate?
Like no, it was just like a school, like a friend of mine that I had in the past, right? And then right after that, it's like, oh my God, Yoni, I'm so sorry. That was meant for someone else. But I could tell it was some like emotional.
Okay, but how do you send that whole last thing to the wrong person?
Okay, I kind of want to get into this, right? So at the very top, it says, hey, I just wanted you to know how I'm feeling. Like I could tell it was some deep ass shit. But I read the very top 2 lines, and then I skipped to all the way to the new message that came in, and it said, oh my God, Yoni, please don't read this. This is not meant for you. I meant to send that to someone else, right?
Okay. I mean, I would say that that's hard to believe that you send this whole, because that's one thing, that when you're sending a whole last thing to somebody, you make sure it's the right person.
Oh, exactly.
You know?
So.
But anyways.
Okay.
So you read that.
And I didn't read it.
You didn't read it?
I wanted to read it, but I didn't read it. I swear to you, I did it.
Did you delete it?
I deleted the whole thread. Like I just swiped and deleted everything.
Damn.
So now if she would text me again, it would be just a new conversation.
Did you tell her like?
I told her I'm not going to read it.
Damn.
Because I knew, and maybe, who knows, maybe it was really meant for me. Maybe the second line was just kind of like.
You know how it's like, oh, sorry, wrong person.
Oh, please don't read it, but still kind of hope that he would read it. Maybe it was meant for me.
Nah. I feel like
who knows
if it was that case, she wouldn't have said like, please don't read it. She would have just said, oh, sorry, this was like
when
wrong
you send,
person.
Okay, but listen, when you send a long emotional text message to someone and you say at the end, please don't read it, do you actually think that they're not going to read it? 99% of people will read that shit.
I don't know. Would you guys go comment right now if you guys would have read it?
And I didn't read it, and I deleted that because I really respected that was privacy. Like her privacy.
Yeah.
And I just hope that if this ever happens to me, that someone can respect me the same way, which most likely it won't happen.
I'm really trying to think if I would have read it.
You would have read
I would have read that shit.
Especially if you know it's some juicy shit.
Right.
I didn't read it, and I deleted it. I didn't think about it again. I was just like...
But I also think it depends who it is.
I think this girl, she might have...
Because like if we're friends,
no,
I might read it.
She was a friend, and I knew her very well. She was like one of my really good friends.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she had like a secret crush on me, and I just didn't know.
Well, either way, you did the noble thing.
Yeah. So I just want to know what people would do in that situation. Yeah. I feel like you 100% would read that. And honestly, I wanted to read that shit. And she would have never known if I read it or not. I would be like, okay, cool. I didn't read it. I deleted it.
Yeah.
Nobody would do that.
That just shows what kind of person you are.
I'm not saying to say that.
No, I know. But it is a good example.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to the notebook story a little bit, just because I remember after I like brought the notebook to you and you kind of got like a little bit weird, and I was like, damn babe, but like it's not like, you know, we tell each other everything, like we really share all of our thoughts and we talk about like what we think and what we feel all the time. We're very open with each other, like emotionally.
I don't share all my thoughts. You think I share all my thoughts?
Okay, well anyways, I do.
I'm just kidding. I do too.
Yeah. So
So what happened
in
then?
that moment, I just felt like it was a little bit of like, damn, okay, so it made me think how much like I guess we do have the right to privacy if we want it in a relationship. And then it made me think about like other things in a relationship that you might keep private. Like sometimes you might be thinking of something or going through something, but you're not necessarily ready to talk to your person about it. And that, I feel like it's private. Like, for example, if I'm having a day where I'm a little bit like in my head and I'm a little quiet and maybe I'm like anxious about something or whatever, and you ask me like, babe, like what's on your mind, you know, because I feel like you can really read my energy very well because you just know me really well. And you always ask me like, babe, like what's going on up there, you know, you can just sense that.
When Ali is thinking about something, I can walk in a room and just feel the thoughts just like all in the room. Like Ali, when Ali thinks this happens, I see that.
Yeah. It's like if you see like just activity.
Oh yeah.
So you always ask me that, and I would say that most of the time I tell you, but I do think it's fair that in that scenario I would say something like, you know, I'm just not really like ready to talk about it yet. And some people on the other side of that, like you, could take it as, but you can tell me anything. Like, why don't you want to talk to me? Whatever, and make it into this whole thing.
But most of the time you tell me.
Most of the time I tell you, but I'm saying there are scenarios where people, I'm just giving this as an example.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time I tell you, but I have talked to like other friends who are in relationships and who I've like talked to them about this specifically, like privacy in a relationship, and they said how like sometimes it's not even about like not telling your person or not trusting them or not wanting them to know. It's simply like, I'm just not ready to have whatever thoughts I have in my head exit into the world and just put them out into the universe in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need to keep processing things internally, and it's really about me. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. And I think that's where like you need to talk about that boundary with your person, and you need to clarify those lines and just be like, just know that if there's something that I'm like going through or whatever, because I'm sure there are many times thoughts and feelings that you have about anything in your life, if it's job, if it's career, if it's whatever, family, things like that, that maybe you are like processing and thinking about, and
Oh yeah.
you don't just always like bring them up to me.
Yeah.
Because you might not be ready to.
Yeah, and just because we're together or just because we're married doesn't mean that you need to know everything at all time, every day.
Right. So in a relationship, like, do you share with your person? Do you share everything with them?
Answer us in the comments, please, because we want to know. And we share a lot of things.
We share. Yeah, we do.
I think I want to say mostly everything.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also think maybe it's not as conscious when we don't share things, because we don't necessarily know. Like, I don't know what you're thinking about all the time.
Right. And if there's something that you just haven't shared with me yet, for example, right?
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. You have to respect the other person, because you're also you have your own life also.
Yeah.
You know, you have your own brain, you have your own like family relationships, and it's, you know, just because you're married or just because you've been together with someone for however many years, that doesn't mean that they just need to know everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then also just don't get mad at them if they're not telling you something.
Right.
Or it's not necessarily even hiding something. They're just like, yo, this is like their shit, and they'll tell you whenever they're ready.
Because when you're in a relationship, we got to remember that the reason why privacy is important is that, first of all, it shows the other person that you're respecting their boundaries. Because boundaries are important, even in relationships. Yes, it's important to, like, obviously don't be closed off and don't, like, keep things from one another. But I would say that there's a, like, level to it that it's kind of like you have to learn each other's, like, communication styles. And we've said this many times before. And you just also have to learn each other's boundaries. And, like, an example that I talked to one of my friends about is therapy. A lot of people go to therapy, and a lot of people go to like not couples therapy, but individual therapy. And they have their own therapy sessions once a week. And I asked her, I was like, so do you share, like, how much do you really share of your therapy session with your partner? Especially because nowadays people just have therapy, like they don't go to the therapist place, like their office. They just have it like at home on a computer. It's like a phone call. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because of COVID, like they had to move it online, and then it kind of just stayed there for conveniency.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
You know, and I asked her, I was like, so don't you feel like after, because if one of us had therapy at home, you know, let's say like I went in the other room, or maybe like I went somewhere and had my therapy session, or if you did, I would kind of have this feeling of like, so what did you talk about today? What did you like do? Because I feel like especially therapy, it's such a like emotional, usually therapeutic, talking through whatever's on your mind type thing.
I don't think I would ask you.
You want to ask me?
Like if you go to a therapy session today,
Yeah.
and I would just ask how it went,
Yeah.
you would tell me, oh, it was good, and that's it. I respect.
So you would ask?
No, I would ask how it went. Now,
Yeah.
So what did you talk about?
Oh yeah, okay. So you would ask
Like
how
I don't
it went.
I obviously I care about what you talk about.
Yeah.
But I also respect you enough to you don't always have to know everything. I'm so okay with that.
That's true.
That's it. And you know that also. It's like
Yeah. I would say, if anything, and she gave me the perfect, because I was curious, because neither of us go to therapy. I've actually personally been thinking about going to therapy myself to work through some like things, like personal things for me.
do I know about those things?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about all those things many times.
You just need to talk to someone else about these things.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's because they're like, it's personal work that I have to do that I would say sometimes even like affects our relationship, like the way I react, or maybe like certain like relationship things within my family that I struggle with, you know, things like that. It's like you already know all of them, but I feel like I need a professional to help me like get those things to a better place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I was actually really curious to ask her, because she's like been going to therapy for a while, and she's been in a long-term relationship. And I asked her just kind of like how it goes, because both of them actually go to therapy. And I was like, so do you ever like talk about what you talk about in your sessions? Like what's like the after process for your relationship, you know? And she told me that they've kind of figured out a way to like talk about it, that they approach it kind of the same way each time, where like whoever had the session, the other person would be like, oh, like how was therapy? You know, like any normal thing that you do, how was therapy? And then the other person would just reply like, it was good. And if they feel like talking about it, they can bring it up like, oh, we talked about this and this, and like this was like really productive, or like, yeah, I was getting really frustrated at this, or we tackled this thing today.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between going to therapy to talk about your, like, you know, that you're both individually going to a therapy session to talk about your relationship.
Okay, but you're not going at the same time.
No, but I know, but you both going for the same things. So asking someone,
What do you mean you're going for the same things?
we have a relationship problem,
No, but that's not why people go to therapy.
but some people go to work on their relationship, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's but I think people go to therapy to talk about several things.
Right, but I also feel like there's people who go to therapy because they have a problem in their relationship.
So they're going to couples therapy.
Therapy.
But that's, you go together.
Okay, but sometimes I feel like you can also go by yourself.
No.
Like, no?
If you go to couples therapy,
Oh, really?
you don't go also individually. The whole point is for you to be in therapy together.
Huh.
But then if you individually have a therapist, you talk about several things. You can talk about your relationship with your parents. You can talk about childhood trauma. You can talk about like work. You can talk about random shit, you know, like when you go to therapy, sometimes it's like you can also, people always say going to therapy is important to also do it when things are good. You know what I'm saying? You don't always want to go to therapy when shit is bad. So, but that same like post therapy conversation can also be like, oh, how's therapy? oh, it was fine. And then the other person can be like, oh, do you want to like talk about it at all? And then she's like, and then the other person would be like, no, not really. Like, I'm not really ready to talk about it. Or like, no, especially because after you've already talked about it for a while, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, especially because sometimes therapy can be really like emotionally draining. So it's like, you know, like, well, we can talk about it later. I don't really feel like talking about it.
It's kind of like recording a podcast. After we record, we never want to talk.
I would say this is our couples therapy.
No, it is. And honestly, I feel like if we went to
individual therapy,
yeah, I would want to share with you. Like you probably won't even have to ask me. I might not share everything, but I would definitely want to share like some things.
Oh yeah, of course. And I would too. I wouldn't, especially if it was like, maybe let's say we had an argument.
Yeah.
Turn that off.
Do you keep hearing that noise outside?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's say we had like an argument, and
which we do all the time.
No, we don't. And the next time I went into therapy, I would maybe want to unpack that and just kind of, so that next time we're in that position, I don't react the way that I did, let's say. Yeah. And then after that, you can ask me like, oh, how was therapy? And I could willingly bring up like, oh, I actually, you know, we talked about our little argument we had last week and blah, blah, blah. So, but I just think it's interesting because it kind of reminded me of like, you know, the notebook situation where it really felt like it was something private that you wanted to like write down for yourself, and it was just like your thoughts. And it's similar in that case with therapy, because usually you go to therapy to talk about things that are on your mind, usually private things that you don't talk to just anyone about, right? Yeah. And that you're like working through and you're being vulnerable. So it made me realize how like respecting your partner's privacy is really important, and communicating about it without being like weird or awkward, because once you get weird or awkward, it makes the other person feel like, why can't they talk about it with me? Yeah,
like, why are you hiding this from me?
Yeah, so it's really important. A lot of people
feel like that, I feel like. Yeah,
a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, obviously a lot of people, you know, like, that have problems in their relationship, but I know that it is a thing to, if you feel like the person doesn't want to share something from their session, that the other person might feel like, what's wrong? Like, why can't you tell me? I'm your person. We're married. Like, I'm supposed to be your person.
What about friend conversations? Let's say you like hang out with a friend.
Okay. And then what?
And then you come home after you hang out with, let's say it's like your best friend or really close friend. After you hang out with them and you come home.
And then you ask me,
and then
what
ask
you guys
you like,
talk about?
like, what did you guys talk about? Sometimes if I hang out with a close friend, you ask me that.
I ask you that all the time.
You ask me that all the time. And it's not even a matter of like, I don't want to tell you. First of all, we just talk about hella shit, so I can't really remember. But sometimes we might talk about like our like relationships, and then talk about like certain specific things about relationships, but also maybe our relationships. It's not that it's like private, but not that it's like a secret. It's also just...
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
It's time shared with a friend.
Yeah. I recently hung out with my friends, and then when I came home, you asked me what we talked about.
Right.
And I told you a little bit, not everything.
Yeah.
But most of it I did.
Yeah.
And also, this is just like another example of, you know, phone calls or, you know, text messages.
I would say you're more on the phone calls because I don't talk on the phone.
Right. But let's just use the text message example, right? Mm-hmm. I can give you my phone right now. You can go through all the text messages. I'm not hiding anything. I
also don't feel the need to go through your text messages.
Exactly. But I don't even need to go to look first before I give it to you. You know?
But
what?
I think it's still very important. Oh, sorry. Yo, the technical difficulties are haunting us today. The sound outside.
You think so? What were you
all saying? The things. No, so I was going to say, but I would never grab your phone. I know the password to your phone. You know the password to my phone.
Yeah.
But if I need something.
You know the password to my Instagram.
Do I? I don't know. But if I need something from your phone, like let's say you take photos and then I need photo for like my thumbnail for YouTube or something like that, you know, I would never just like pick up your phone and go through your photos.
Yeah.
and like look through and like look, even though I'm looking for something specific, I would never do that because that is your own private thing.
Yeah.
Especially because we store so much on our phones.
Yeah.
So I would never just do that. Even if I already have access to it openly and I know there's nothing to hide, I still would be like, hey babe, can I like get some photos or see if you have any photos from past weekend because I need some for my thumbnail.
Yeah. And I take photos of everything.
So I know you have them, but I will never just assume that it's open for me to just like go on it at any time. And it goes the same way too. It's like, oh, can I use your phone, like my phone, to like send myself some photos that I took or something like that. And then
you always have to
it.
ask. Like, I don't care how close you are with someone. This thing is your device.
Yeah.
And it's not even about that, oh, you have some shit in there. It's about, this is yours. I don't know. Maybe you took a photo of something that's, you know, like maybe you took a photo in the bathroom and that you just wanted to, I don't know. And it's, I don't know. I feel like just these things you have to just keep private and respect the other person. If the person doesn't want to give you the phone password, also just don't be alarmed. Don't be like, oh, what's wrong? Or what is he hiding? Maybe they're just like, I feel like it's private.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe they're not telling you the password to their phone because they know that you're the type of person that would snoop around.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the reason why I don't care, like we're just not those types of people.
Yeah. So I think that's why if you don't give your partner your phone passcode, I feel like it's because you know that if you give it to them, they might actually just go through that shit. And
yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to find something, but just like you just rather not.
Yeah. And I really think it's very toxic to go through your person's phone.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing, right, with the text messaging, I'm in group chats with my friends, right? Mm-hmm. Guys talk about some shit. I have some single guys who are just wilding out.
On those group chats?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're wild. They're single. They're just trying to find their next girlfriend. They're telling us about their dates, how she was.
Oh, okay.
They're sending photos of who they might be dating. So all that shit is happening.
All right.
I'm in a relationship. I'm married. I'm good. And there's a few other ones who are also just good. They got kids, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a mix of some wild shit. Yeah. But we're all really close friends.
Right.
Recently, we're talking about, let's go on like, whether it's like high school reunion or just like a guy's trip. And I have many different friend groups like that, right? Mm-hmm. But it's always kind of the same story with everyone.
Mm-hmm. So
you always have those wild guys. Yeah. So now they're like, oh, yeah, let's go to the Bahamas, right?
Okay.
A guy's trip. And they're talking about, we want to go to a strip club or something. Uh-huh. We want to go to the club and it's going to be nice and all that. We're going to go to the beach. So I'm thinking like me and the other couple guys who are like, in relationships. I'm thinking, I want to see you guys. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. But I ain't trying to go to no strip club.
You're not trying to go to a strip club because you actually don't want to or because I will.
I was just never interested in going.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also, like, why do I want to put myself in a situation where, like, these guys, they want to go and just be wild.
Yeah, you're with them, so you're going to get a lot of...
Yeah, and, those people that are in the strip club, they don't know that I'm single. Right. They don't know that this guy has kids, right?
Yeah.
So you're just putting yourself in a situation where it's just shit everywhere, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's a lot happening. And... we're talking about it like I don't want to go because we don't live the same lifestyle. Yeah. Like you do something completely different.
Yeah.
So I say this to say in these group chats, now let's say you grab my phone, right? Mm-hmm. You grab my phone, you go to the group chat, and then you see a guy that posted a photo of someone that they're really interested in, right?
Okay.
Like let's say some girl in a bikini or whatever, right?
All right.
And it's a photo that maybe shouldn't be in my phone.
But is it like in your phone?
Yeah, because for some reason my WhatsApp.
Oh, but see, I know that.
Hold on a second. My WhatsApp downloads anytime somebody sends any picture.
You can turn that off. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, but I just haven't done it yet.
Okay, that's a good one. You should do that.
You know, so it goes to my photos.
Yeah.
So if you post a girl and she's just looking, however, right?
Yeah. And I'm looking through your photos to find a photo for my thumbnail.
Allie is looking for a photo for her Instagram, right? And she sees that random photo on my images.
I would just straight away ask you, like, babe, what is that?
Or who is this?
Yeah. But honestly, I would automatically think it's probably some shit from WhatsApp. Because I know that it does that.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even think, oh yeah, Yoni saved this photo over like a girl he's texting, sent him this photo. I wouldn't think that.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes when people want some privacy, maybe it's to avoid that.
Fair enough.
Or maybe I don't want you to see the conversation that I'm having with my bros about
because
whatever.
It's the conversation you're having with your bros.
Exactly. So now, but I'm not even talking about that. Let's say I'm talking about...
You're talking about whatever. And then let's say I'm using your computer to edit the podcast, and then you are texting someone, and then the text shows up here and someone says like some shit that I'm like, ooh, what are they talking about?
No, exactly. And I just don't want you to like scroll and just read the whole conversation.
Yeah, because it's not my conversation to look at.
Yeah,
I'm not in the group chat.
So that's why like having my thing connected, I'm not a fan of it. I don't have a problem, but if I'm somewhere out and I'm doing something and then you're at home and you can see the conversations that I'm texting all day and you can just see that shit on the computer, it's not a problem. But it's also sometimes I'm not interested in the conversations you have with your girlfriends. Like I would never read.
I know, but I'm also, I mean, to be fair, if I did see, like, I am just curious to just see what the fuck you guys talk about.
But see, I think it's just privacy. We're not talking about anything.
I know, but I'm saying I'm not going snooping around or anything. But I'm saying, like, if it popped up, it would raise my curiosity. I would be like,
See, like, for me, I wouldn't even read your shit. Because it's like this is your conversation. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay, but let's say like, I'm showing you something on my phone.
Okay.
And then you know how the text messages like drop down? The little thing?
Okay, you can read that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Don't click on it and open the shit.
That's never happened.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think I just would never read anybody else's text. I don't care if for what. It's not my business. I'm not even curious enough. Maybe you are curious enough to do that, but it's just your thing, and you have to put some respect on that.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I totally agree. The only reason why I said it, I would be curious to see.
And some guys
I'm just curious to see like what you guys talk about in group chats, you know.
So
but I also think you have like you also have like basketball shit that you talk about.
Yeah, I have basketball shit
or whatever. I would say like girls usually have either they're like talking some shit about something that happened, or they're like making plans to hang out. Right? Let's say I'm like using your computer for something and like a message pops up on like whatever group chat you have, and I can clearly see it's a group chat and someone said some shit. I would if anything, I would be like, damn babe, what y'all talking about over there? Like as a joke, but I don't really care what you guys are talking about. The same way that if let's say you're on my computer and one of my friends texted some shit, she said like, I don't know, talking some shit about someone, whatever. I don't know, something that's spicy that clearly you're talking about something.
Yeah.
You would probably do the same thing. You'd be like, damn, Allie, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
But you don't really care. It's just
I would just never read it. I would never read it.
You wouldn't click on it.
Yeah.
But babe, if it pops up and it drags into the screen, you read that shit.
Yeah, because it's on the screen.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah, but I'm not clicking on it to see what the whole conversation says. Also, you know another thing? The reason why I would call it out is because it clearly popped on the screen. And I feel like if I don't call it out, it's like, you know when you fart and you pretend like you didn't? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Or like when you trip.
Wow, nice analogy.
Or like when you trip and then you continue walking as if you didn't trip. I never do that. So it's the same way. It's like I can't do some shit and not call it out. Not call out what I just did.
No, I get it.
Similarly, if I see a text pop on the screen and it says some wild shit or whatever, I can't not call it out, even if you didn't see me do it.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of feels like I'm lying. Like you don't know that I saw it, but I did.
I get it. I just wanted to like explain to you why I didn't want to have like my shit connected. It's not because I'm hiding something.
I also don't know why you think I connected your shit. I didn't.
Oh yeah, so then one day my shit was just connected. I never connected it.
I didn't connect it either.
So then I'm like, Alia, did you just connect my phone to the fucking laptop?
Yeah, I just want to like see all your messages. No, I didn't connect shit.
No, honestly, I don't care. You can read it right now. You can look at my photos.
But I trust you. So that's why even in scenarios where, for example, the strip club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to let's say you go on that Bahamas trip and you go to the strip club, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Because I just trust that whatever comes at you, you're not going to do shit.
I just don't want to go to. And also, I've never been to a strip club.
Maybe you should go just for the experience.
Is it weird to go to a strip club with your partner?
No.
Like, would you ever want to go with me?
No.
But that's just because you don't.
That's something because just the idea of strip clubs kind of goes against my values. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's deep. That's a deeper conversation.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with like, us going to the strip club.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about briefly just the difference between secrecy and privacy. Because I think those two, that's where people get like, you should be able to tell me anything. And like, you shouldn't keep anything from me. But we have to differentiate what privacy is and what secrecy is.
Okay, let's do it, right? So what's privacy to you?
Privacy is everything that we just explained, right? That it's not necessarily that I'm lying or keeping something from you.
It's just the right.
It's just like I'm either not ready to share that with you, or it's that I'm still processing whatever that thought is, or it's a conversation that I had with someone that also is not just my conversation. It's like they said something as well, so it's not mine to share. You know.
And secrecy.
But hold on. But I was gonna say, but privacy, whatever I'm keeping private, has no fear or shame or like I'm not scared to tell you.
Yeah.
Like if you found out, it wouldn't really hurt you or hurt me or anything like that. But I would say secrecy is usually purposely withholding information for the other person that you're holding it out of fear and out of shame. It's like you're scared for them to find this out. That's no longer private.
Yeah, that's not good in a relationship.
Exactly.
You should not have any secrets, really.
Yeah.
The only thing that you should not be telling your partner is maybe like some shit that you just feel is private for you, and maybe you're just not ready to talk about it.
But again, that's private.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, but you said if any secret to keep away, I think it's different. You know, it's like a secret is a secret when like they would be hurt by it, or they would be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important because sometimes people forget to differentiate the two, and they just put all of it in the same category, and then they feel like you should tell me everything and you shouldn't like ever keep anything from me, and that hurts you because you end up not trusting the other person.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually really healthy to have privacy. It's very healthy.
Yeah, and everyone should have some type of privacy. If your partner makes you feel bad that you want to keep some things for yourself, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's like they should chill out, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe they should have some privacy also.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes a little bit like toxic.
Yeah, it definitely toxic. Earlier, or was it last night, we were hanging out all day. Then I go to the room because I just wanted to be by myself for a second.
Okay.
The window was open, beautiful sunset, and I just wanted to be on my phone next to the window and feel the breeze. And Alia was here watching the show. The moment I leave to go to the room, I kid you not, 30 seconds later, Alia jumps right in bed, right next to me, and she'd be like, "Hi." And I love you very much. But in that moment, I was like, yo, I really need to be alone right this second.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with privacy, really.
And I know that you just wanted to be cute. You just wanted to be
No, actually, you know why I did that?
Why?
I was coming to the bedroom to get a pillow because it was hot in here, and this shit gets really hot in the summertime. So the reason why I initially went to the bedroom when you left is because I was like, oh, fuck, you know what? Let me go get this pillow. Because the pillow was nice and soft and cold, you know?
Okay.
But then I saw you laying there, and it looked so, like, breezy and nice. So that's why I laid down next to you. Because I don't know if you remember, but after I left you alone, I came back because I was like, oh yeah, that's what I need. I need the pillow.
Yeah.
So just a disclaimer.
Yeah. No, privacy is important, but I think we covered all of the points that we wanted to talk about.
I do want to say one thing that just the last thing that I want to leave you guys with.
Did you talk about it already?
No.
Okay.
Is just don't take it personal. It's really not personal. Most of the time, you're the one making it personal. Like if you are telling me that you're not ready to talk about something or whatever, and I'm making it a thing and I'm making it a problem, is because I'm making it personal. I'm making it about me.
Yeah.
When I would say like 95% of the time, it has nothing to do with you.
98.
Okay. 100% of the time. No, like I would say most of the time when people want to keep something private and to themselves, because as you said, we're still individuals. Even if you're in a relationship and you share almost everything, I would say that it's also still very important to still have your individual selves.
Yeah.
And that's why you need your time and your space for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to just respect that. And it's really not personal.
Not everything is about you. We need to understand that not everything is about us, okay?
Most shit is not about us.
Yeah,
we just make it about us.
Yeah, because we just want to be important. We just want to be involved with everything.
Yeah.
It's like, just relax, So if you made it to the end of this episode, please let us know. Do you think it's okay to...
I mean, I think we already told them to share something with us, no?
Okay,
at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, but they probably forgot by now, right?
Okay, fair enough.
So, if you made it to the end of the episode, please let us know. Do you think it's okay to go through your partner's phone without permission? How do you feel about it? Are you okay with that? Are you not okay with that?
Yeah.
What about text messages? Do you feel like you should know everything that's happening in their phone?
If you see it, do you click on it or not?
Yeah. Just let us know how you deal with privacy in your relationship. I think that's good enough, right?
Cool. All right. We love you guys. Thank you again for listening to another episode of What's the Juice podcast.
We'll be back next week on Wednesday.
Yes, we come out every Wednesday with a new episode. And if you are a first-time listener, welcome. Hope you stick around for the future ones and listen back to some of our last episodes because season 2, we really stepped up our game.
Yeah, we really did. We really did. And if this is your last episode, you just listen to this and you're like, I never want to listen to them again. Honestly, thank you for listening so far.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Maybe we'll come back sometime.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe like season 3. And also I want to give a shout out to Sadie. She went out to a restaurant yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Sadie?
Yeah.
And we got the receipt and she said, I love WTJ. And that was very nice of her.
Yeah.
At first when I told you that, you thought that I wrote that on it.
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, shout out to you if you're watching. If you're not, it's cool.
Thank you, everybody. Love you. Have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.